Form criticism. Form criticism. Form, F-O-R-M. Form criticism. In this unit, we shall define the concept of form criticism. In this unit, we shall look at the origin. In this unit, we shall consider how form criticism works. In other words, what are the basic steps? Now let us look at form criticism by definition. According to Dr. Mike of National Open University of Nigeria and Dr. Miracle Aja of National Open University of Nigeria. Form criticism is a method of biblical criticism. A method of biblical criticism that classifies units of scripture by literary pattern and that attempts to trace each type to its period of oral transmission. In other words, form criticism seeks to determine a unit's original form and the historical context of the literary tradition. Hezemedia, Hermann Gunkel, Gunkel, originally developed form criticism to analyze the Hebrew Bible. You find out that in its early form, Gunkel and the early form critics have a way of doing the job. In other words, it was as a result of their effort to organize the writings of the Bible according to their genre, such as fairy tale, myth, saga, and legend, that form criticism developed. For example, an individual psalm may be designated as praise, can be classified into specific categories such as hymn, song of praise, lament, or thanksgiving psalm. Now, how does it work? Form criticism. There are basic steps. 1. Form criticism begins by identifying a text genre or conventional literary form, such as parables, such as proverbs, such as epistles or love poems. The first step, don't forget, form criticism begins by identifying a text genre or conventional literary forms, such as parables, proverbs, epistles, or love poems. The second step in form criticism, it goes on to seek the sociological setting for each text genre. In other words, the situation in life. The German called the Sitz im Leben. Sitz im Leben. Form criticism, second step, goes to seek the sociological setting for each text genre, that is, the situation in life. Then, example, the sociological setting of a law is a court. Or another example, the sociological setting of a psalm of praise, that is a hymn, is a worship contest. In other words, if we have a hymn or a psalm of praise, when and how and where, in which context was it used. It will be traced to worship setting. That is the seat in living, the situation in life then that gave birth to the hymn. The third step is, having identified and analyzed the text genre, or called pericles, form criticism goes on to ask how these smaller genre pericles contribute to the purpose of the text as whole. How does the genre pericles contribute to the purpose of the text as a whole? 3 steps. Form criticism begin by identifying a text genre, whether it's parable or proverb or epistle or psalms or poem. 2, it goes to see the sociological setting, the situation in life, which in German is known as Sitz im Leben. Thirdly, it identifies and analyzes the text genre pericles and its contribution to the purpose of the text as a whole. Now let's give an example. Note that the Bible is a compilation of individual literary works. The diverse literature of the Bible represents a wide variety of genres that were originally intended for use within a specific setting that accomplish a specific function. For example, a psalm, a hymn is for worship. So there are diverse literary genres to bear in mind: the narrative, history, law, poetry, prophecy, song, letter. Although there are no editorial introductions within the Bible to orient the reader regarding the genre, setting, and function of a specific text, but it is the task of the form critics to identify and search for these. And so we'll find that form criticism is a method of biblical criticism. And so far we have defined, explained what is form criticism. We have also mentioned the steps, and we concluded that it is a form or a method of biblical criticism. Thank you for listening.